Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have joined us once again for this morning's webinar. You're all welcome to the webinar on packaging as a marketing tool. We hope you would enjoy and take great lessons from today's webinar. This webinar is being organized by WACOM, the West Africa Competitiveness Program. My name is Charles Saki. I'm the Chief Technical Advisor for the program, and we will be organizing this webinar. The reasons why we're organizing this webinar is quite obvious. With the issues of Corona, we're not able to meet our stakeholders and our beneficiaries face-to-face due to all the restrictions and health implications. But by virtue of technology, we are able to reach you. We've done a number of webinars, and today's webinar is also targeting packaging. I mean, without packaging, you can't sell. Your products will not go anywhere. It will just remain in your manufacturing floors. So we want to see how we're going to use packaging as a marketing tool to sell our products so that people would have that. Within the chat, within the page that we are on the Zoom facility, there's a Q&A session. You see Q&A, question and answers. If you have any questions for today, please, as we start, type in your questions and we would answer. I'm here with my colleague. You won't see, but she's supporting us at the appropriate time. Should show up, Ebe, who is supporting us from Vienna, and my other team members who are also not visible, but they are on now, Joseph, Frank, Frederick, and then Kwame. Today, our main resource person is Soha Atala. So I'll introduce Soha and then we'll move on. Soha is a Lebanese by nationality. She's an international industrial expert. In terms of packaging, I think there are very few people like her in the world. She has extensive experience in industrial development, in packaging, in marketing, in food safety throughout the Middle East, North Africa, Asia. In Lebanon, she founded Lebapack, the Lebanese Packaging Center, providing trainings and coachings to the private sector, and also advises the Ministry of Trade and Industry on packaging and related issues. So you see today we have a top-notch personality to take us through this topic. She has over 20 years experience, and she's provided packaging and labeling design services to more than 200 industrial companies around the world. She is well-versed. I mean, we are very happy to have her. And now with UNIDO, she's been a consultant for over a decade, and she supported many UNIDO projects on packaging and marketing in so many countries. Just to mention a few, she's worked in Mongolia, Morocco, Pakistan, Jordan, Oman, Egypt, Bahrain, Lebanon, Tunisia, and others. Today, she's here to share her international experience with us. She's also been nominated as the Vice President of the World Packaging Organization in 2018. So you know who we are talking about. So you are not at the wrong place. You are really at the right place to listen to the right person. So we thank you very much, Soha, for joining us and to share your experience with us. Before we kickstart this whole process, we're going to have a short poll, and the poll will be displayed will come on screen very soon. So please, you answer for us. That will give Soha the opportunity to know exactly what we need and how she would also respond to that. So the poll is coming up. Please answer as quickly as possible, and then we move on. The presentation for the day will be in two parts. We'll talk about the fundamentals of packaging. And so we'll talk about packaging as a marketing tool. And then once the first session is done, we will then move on to the second session. We'll break and we'll have the second session of the presentation, which will now be talking about the packaging as a marketing tool. So now we'll start with the fundamentals. So please, the poll is coming up. Let's all take time and let's fill it. It's up here. So what type of packaging materials you use? Multiple choice is allowed. And then the second point is, what is for you the main function that is attributed to packaging? What's the main function that you attribute to packaging? Just two questions. So please, let's have it, and then in the next 30 seconds, we would read the result, and then Soha will now take the floor. And as I said, if you have any question, please type into the Q&A session, and then we can move on. Okay, so guess it's answering, people are answering. So in the next minutes or 30 seconds, we'll have the results popping up. So what type of packaging material do you use? You either use glass jars or bottles or cartons, metal, plastic, or any other that you have. And in terms of what's the function that you attribute to packaging, you have storage, protection from external factors, protection against contamination, facilitate transport, promotion and marketing, differentiation, and then others. Okay, so I think we can have the results now. Good. All right. So you see it. So for the materials, realize that most of us are using 50% are using plastic, 17% are using glass jars or bottles. Carton is 42%. No metal packaging material. And then for the main function, it's all about promotion and marketing. And then also 58% are saying they use it because of promotion and marketing. You have 25% protection against contamination, 8% storage, differentiation, 8%. So it's clear now. So at this point, I would hand over to you, Soha. You've seen the results of the poll, and then you take over. So welcome to Ghana, and there are other colleagues watching or listening in from other countries. So here we are. Thank you very much, Soha.
Thank you. Good evening or good morning. What's the time in Ghana?
It's still morning in Ghana. It's still morning, 11 a.m.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Charles, for the introduction. I'm really very happy to be with you. And really on my list to visit Ghana, as Charles said, within my role with UNIDO and the BPO, I visited many countries. But Ghana is on my list. So I hope that one day I will be able to be with you really live, not through the webinar. I'm happy to see your answer. I'm happy to see that mainly you use the packaging as a marketing tool. This will be our next topic. However, I was quite surprised that 0% didn't mention protection from the external factors, and we will talk about it in the first presentation, because actually this is the main role of packaging. First of all, we need to protect the product from the external factor, and the product needs to reach the final destination, the consumer, in its first state. And then when we meet this function, we go to the marketing, which I love. Marketing is my passion, as you will see in the next presentation. But first of all, the most fundamental role of packaging and why packaging was created since history is to really protect the product from the external factor. So I will start, Charles, with the quickly.
Okay, so here we are.
I'm sorry for this.
No problem.
Okay. So in this presentation, it will be, as I was telling Charles and Abby, usually we need more time for packaging, but I will try to be brief and to provide you with an introduction on packaging. First of all, what is packaging? I wish there was kind of interaction with you guys to really see what is packaging. Then I will go briefly to the different level of packaging and the function of packaging. I cannot list all the function. I will be brief, unfortunately. And we go to the packaging material. So what is packaging? Really, we cannot live without packaging because packaging is very important for trade, for export, for import, for industry, for agriculture, cosmetic, pharmaceuticals. If you go to the supermarket, you don't see anything actually without packaging. So packaging is really the way to prepare and to protect the product to make it suitable for distribution. Okay, so this is the role of packaging, is to make it easier for you guys to bring your product from the factory to the shelves of the supermarket or to your home, because especially now we're talking about e-commerce and everybody is buying online. So this is why packaging was created. Like, for example, the water. Without the packaging, without the bottle, you cannot really use it. You cannot really consume it. So this really, in a nutshell, what is packaging. So Abby, we can go to the next slide. Now, according to the WPO number, the most sector that is using packaging is still food. By food, we mean processed food and fresh and agriculture food. And then, as you can see, we have the cosmetics, the pharmaceutical, the beverages. So food is still the main sector where packaging is used the most. For packaging, we really need to know that we have 3 levels of packaging. We have the primary packaging, when we are talking, for example, about the bottle of water, whether PET or glass. This is, we called it primary packaging. And then the secondary packaging is, for example, if you're buying biscuits, first of all, you have the direct wrap, and the secondary package will be the folding carton. And the third packaging will be the corrugated box, where it's imported to be shipped and all of this. So we have 3 kinds of packaging. Now, regarding the roles of packaging. As I said, the most important role of packaging is its functional role. First of all, we need to fulfill that our packaging is designed to protect and preserve the product as you have manufactured, or as you have, if it's a fresh produce, to reach the consumer in the state that you want. And now we will elaborate more. Then we have the marketing role. It will be, no, if we, now we have the, then we have the marketing role. I will not talk about it now because it will be the topic in the second presentation. And you were discussing before the sustainable role. I hope I will have more time to discuss it because it's a hot issue now, the sustainability and how packaging affect the environment. And the legal aspect, I have been told that someone will tell you about the legal requirement, what needs to be put on the label, the nutrition fact, and all of this. If not, I will be happy to provide you with another presentation. So if we go now, Abby, to the second slide. Now, these are the functional role of packaging. The containment, we will discuss it now, the protection and the preservation, the food safety aspect, the convenience, and the branding, the information. We will talk about it in the next presentation. So first, let's go to the second slide, the containment. This is the most important part. The functional role of packaging is really to contain the product. And we face a lot of problem with this, especially when we're talking about liquid or any kind of product. We need to make sure that there's no leakage. There's no loss of product from the packaging, from the lid, from, even if we are also talking about gases. So all of this is really important. And because the leakage, that means that the package is not really well designed, where something can goes out, but also something can goes in. And this means contamination. And this is a major issue regarding containment. Abby, the second slide. And then we go to the protection and the preservation. And when we talk about protection and preservation, we're talking about 2 aspects. The first aspect is the external factors. When we want to protect the product about any physical damage that can affect the product. And here I'm not talking only about food, I'm talking about electronics, I'm talking about cosmetics. So, no, can we stay? Yes. So we need to make sure that the product is not really damaged. And then we talk to the inside, the issue when we're talking about fresh produce or perishable product. Here we're talking about extending the shelf life of the product through proper packaging. And here we call it active packaging. Okay, so here with packaging, with a proper, sometimes even we insert gases, not only the packaging by itself, it will preserve and it will extend the shelf life of the product. That's why I always, when I have any client or any SMEs that will come to Liban Park, I need to ask them all these questions. I cannot design the same package for Africa, for example, where the temperature is very hot and high, with the same package in Moscow, where the temperature is -15. I need to know also the temperature of the storage, where the product will be stored. This will be very important. That will affect, for example, how many cartons, how many layers I will be using to keep up with the temperature, to keep up with the pressures. I need to know if I'm shipping my product by sea or by plane or by train, okay? So this is the checklist that I need to know before designing the package. And this is the problem where we have a lot of problem where the client will not give us the full brief about these questions that we ask. If we can go to the next slide. When we talk about the protection from the environmental hazards, as I said, we're talking about humidity. Not all countries have the same humidity, the temperature, the pressure, if I'm shipping by plane, and also where the product will be stored. I want to make sure that no pest, dirt, or insect will be able to access my package and then damage the product inside. So I thought about distribution. I need to know, and that's why not only for marketing or when we go about it, I need to know the length of the ship of the product, the product that will be making from the factory to the supermarket. For example, if I'm designing a package for Lebanon, it's directly from 2 hours transportation. It's different than I'm shipping to Ghana or to the States or to China. And I really need to know the mode of shipment, so my packaging, the structural design of the packaging will withhold any kind of physical damage. As I said, labeling is also a very important function, because I always say the label information are like a passport to the product. And all these materials need to be well displayed to avoid any misleading information to the consumer. And I'm sorry we don't have time to go in it, but I'm sure Abby told me that somebody will be covering this. Here we're talking about the importance of food packaging. And with food packaging, we have what we said about food contact material. There's a legislation, there's a legal requirement. And here in the many countries that I have visited, I have been lately to Mongolia and Pakistan, there's a lack, even in Oman, there's a lack of awareness on the importance of food contact material. You cannot use any material direct in contact with food. There's a regulation, there's a logo that you make sure to see if this product, if this packaging material is okay to be with your food. When it's okay to be with your food, it will play its role to avoid chemical and biological contamination for your product. Also here, I'm giving you example, because many people ask me, what is the best packaging? Shall we use transparent packaging? Shall we use dark packaging? Every product has its own specification. For example, when I'm talking about olive oil, with olive oil, we use dark bottles. Why I'm using dark bottle? To avoid light and oxygen, because this will affect the organoleptic values of the product. Other product, it's okay to be transparent, like water, like juices. So every product really has its own necessity, and I really need to have a full brief about the product, about how many fat there's in the product, if it's a fresh produce, and not even all fresh produce are the same. So for every product, we really need to study the requirement to be able to protect any kind of alteration of organoleptic values. Same for meat and other products, the same. Now we go to the packaging materials. And as a packaging expert, many people ask me, so what is the best packaging material? And here you will be surprised by my reply, because us as a WPO, we don't have this negative things about plastic, because this is, we call it, this is also like greenwashing. There's a full campaign on plastic, where plastic for sure has its advantage, but it has its disadvantage. And us as a WPO, we think that plastic is ending up in nature and in rivers, not because plastic is a bad material, because us as human, we are bad. We are putting these plastic product in the sea, not the plastic by itself, because plastic, as you have seen, you are using it the most. And plastic, whether we like it or not, plays a more role in extending the shelf life. For example, in Lebanon, for cheese or dairy, we cannot use carton. Carton is an amazing product, but carton has a problem with humidity, has a problem with water. So that's why there's no such thing of bad or good packaging material. As we say, the most important role of the packaging is what? Is to protect the product. And because if we are using, for example, carton instead of plastic for some product like cheese, then the cheese is being ruined. Packaging material, we have to study the product by itself, the necessity of the product, and all of this. What happened? Abby?
No, you're okay. Please go ahead.
No, I need to go to the slides on the packaging material.
Okay.
I don't know why I was not able to share it. Let me try again from my side. This is me or Abby. Okay, so what are the main 5 packaging materials? They are glass, plastic, metal, paper and board, and wood. Let's start. And as I said, to be able to define what is the main packaging material that should be used, we really need to do a feasibility study on your product. First of all, from a technical point of view, to study the product, its shelf life, its permeability, if it's good to have water, humidity, all of this, we really need to have our homework. And then also with marketing aspect, because each packaging material will give a different promotion or a different image or positioning for your product. And for sure, we need to study the cost, because cost is important as well. Because some packaging material are more costly than the others. And for sure, we need also to study the environmental aspect. And as I said, we need to study the regulation, because not all packaging materials are suitable to be in contact with food. Paper, until now, paper is the most used packaging material, but soon it will be bypassed by plastic, because plastic, as I said, it's being developed a lot, especially when we are talking about flexible packaging material. Paper is an amazing packaging material. It has a stiffness function, but also it has another disadvantage. Every material has an advantage and disadvantage. The main disadvantage of carton is what? Is water, okay? If I'm putting a carton and there's rain or there's a lot of humidity, then the carton will be damaged. And also we have a good advantage now also with the carton is the printability. We can print anything we want, any colors we want. So it's good also for marketing and for promotion, the paper. Metal. I can see that you don't use a lot of metal in your country, but metal is also a very good material for shelf life. When we want to put anything in metal, it directly extends the shelf life of the product, and it's a complete barrier. Complete barrier. With the carton, there's no barrier for gas or for humidity or any external factor. For metal, it's a complete barrier and it will extend the shelf life. And also with metal, it is a fully recyclable, and also for printing and promotion. Nowadays, we can print anything we want on metal. The property of the metal, as I said, it's very also strong. It's a complete barrier for light and for any directly bacterial or any external factor. And it also have a nice aesthetic effect, and we can also recycle. For the glass, now I'm not talking about WPO, but for the glass, it's my favorite packaging material. I love glass because also glass comes from nature, and glass also is a complete barrier, not for light, but it's a complete barrier for gases, for any bacteria or any external factor. But also, the main disadvantage of glass is what? I wish you can answer me. Glass is fragile. It can be broken. Glass is also heavy. So for transportation is expensive. But glass is a high end, okay? Whenever you have, for example, a bottle of water, the same brand like Evian, they put it in PET and they put it in glass, the positioning and the branding directly strike. When you're talking about cosmetics, they all use glass. And also, there's also an issue for glass. It's the zero packaging material that has no migration. I wish we have time to explain what is migration. Migration is, for example, when some substance from the packaging material can go to the product itself, okay? And this is the main disadvantage of which material? Of plastic. So, as I said, also glass is very expensive, not because of the transportation. By itself, glass is a highly intensive energy production, because we need a lot of water and we need a lot of electricity to be able to produce glasses. As I said, glass is inert. It's a total barrier for gases. For sure, it's transparent. It's a high quality image. However, its weight is high and it's a fragile.
Okay.
An example of a glass packaging for food. Now we go to plastic. Plastic, it's an evolving packaging material. Plastic is made from oil, but now we have a lot of development in plastic, because we have also what is called as bioplastic, where plastic is made from starch and made from potato and made from plant. So plastic is evolving. We have many kinds of plastic. Plastic is a science by itself. We have the rigid plastic. Here is an example where the product is rigid, and we have the flexible. And let me tell you something, flexible is really booming. Many products are shifting from rigid or from metal or from anything, even when we see in chocolates and products for juices, they are moving from PET to the flexible. And why? I'm telling you why. Because of the convenience of the consumer. It's light. It's not heavy to use it. It's not heavy to ship it. It's light. So flexible packaging is on the run, and it's very suitable for the on-the-go product that we consume it in our life. Plastic, although it's very bad to the environment, but I told you my opinion about it. Yes, plastic needs more time to be dissolved more than the other packaging material. It's true, but there's also responsibility on us as a human. But let's face it, plastic is the most packaging material that can extend the shelf life of the food, because we can insert something in the plastic, some gases, some nitrogen, and we have something called like modified atmosphere packaging. It's a technology by itself that it's called MAP. So here you can really extend the shelf life of agricultural product like cherries, for example, in Lebanon. We are very famous for cherries. Cherries, you know, the perishability of cherries is 1 to 2 days. So without this MAP, we cannot extend it to 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, so this is an example where plastic can extend the shelf life of the product. We have a lot of type of plastics. We cannot go now into them. I'm sure you know most of them. But here people also make a lot of confusion about the number of packaging. Here the number of packaging is not related whether to if it's food grade, if we can put it directly into food. It has nothing to do with this. These numbers inside the triangle only refer to the type of plastic. Because really in my mission to many countries, I don't know, this misunderstanding, they think 2 is okay, 7 is okay. Okay, it is only referring to the type of the plastic. The only logo that can say if this product is suitable to be in contact with food is, I wish I can show it to you here, is the fork and the spoon with next to the glass. I will try to send it to you later. So this is only to the type of every plastic material, PET, propylene, but everyone has its own barrier function and how it can be used. Okay. Here we have talking about every plastic material, but there's something that is called hybrid packaging. And the most example about hybrid packaging is Tetra Pak. Charles, you have Tetra Pak in Ghana.
Yes, we have Tetra Paks, yes.
Tetra Pak is an example of 6 packaging materials. They are put into one package. Here we have paper, we have aluminum, metal, and we have plastic, and different kind of plastic. And let me tell you something, although Tetra Pak is amazing for extending shelf life, but Tetra Pak is very bad for the environment. People think that it's made from paper. Yes, but any kind of package that has many kind of material, it will be difficult to what? For sorting and for waste management. When a package is made from a single packaging material, it's simple to be sorted and to be, the waste management will be easier. And this is now a big discussion in the States where many food companies are using paper instead of plastic for the trend of the recycling and the environment, but they are misleading the consumer because you cannot put paper directly with food, so you need to put coating. With coating, this is called plastic, and then also you went to the other issue of mixing two packaging material. Here I'm giving you an example how one brand, this is a brand in the Gulf country called Mara'i. For the same product, they are using different kind of material. Let us focus on the two one. This is the milk one in Tetra Pak. Here, they are using the Tetra Pak. Why? Because they want to extend the shelf life. Here, the milk is for 1 year. 1 year. The second one, they are using PET bottle. And here, the shelf life is for how long? For 1 week. Can you see the difference? For the same product, from 1 year to 1 week. And who is doing this? The packaging material. So that's why when we want to first, we don't choose the packaging material before doing our homework. What is the shelf life? What is the properties? And here we are using vacuum bag for the milk in powder milk. Okay, so this is different, the same brand, but also milk. Same for Tropicana. Okay, here you can see 5 ways of packaging. You can see the glass, which give more premium look. When you have visitors, you want to serve them not in a can or in a PET bottle. You want to serve them in glass. So here, glass give this premium look. The PET one and the stand-up pouches is for the on-the-go. Okay, you consume it while you are out. And the Tetra Pak, also we go to the extended shelf life. So here I'm showing you really an example where a single brand, Tropicana, is using different packaging material for different purposes. And here also, physical and external factors are taken into consideration, shelf life, but also marketing, okay? Because marketing is very important. And you will see, whenever you want to go and to do your packaging design, first of all, you really need to do your homework and to have a full brief about the checklist that I have told you, the properties of your product, the final destination, your distribution, whether by plane, by sea, which countries, and also the legal issue. I wanted also to tell you that there's a new technology also in the flexible packaging. It's very new. It's called EcoLean. This is really very new, and they are using it for beverages. It's very light. It's lighter than the Tetra Pak. It has the same effect as Tetra Pak, and it's also one packaging material. This is very new, and also it's very catchy because you can print all the colors on it and make your product stand out. I try to be brief, and I'm open for your questions.
Thank you very much, Soha, for such detailed presentation. Thank you very much. And I guess we have a few questions I would run through for the first part. So the first question from one attendee is that now the world is going green, and that they have challenges when they wanted to export their products in plastic. So accessing market with plastic is becoming a challenge. So would you recommend biodegradable materials or what? Because when he wanted to export to the UK, for instance, the UK market wanted a product in glass because plastic was not encouraged. So what would be the advice to such a person in terms of marketing access?
He's asking me what is the packaging material to respond to the trend issue, right? To the trend of being sustainable.
Not the trend. The question is that they wanted to export, okay, let me keep it brief. They wanted to export products to the UK market. Yeah. And the UK market wanted bottles and not plastics because of the challenges, as you said, the world have against plastics. So what is the way forward?
I will go again to what I said, okay? I did a study, by the way, on the packaging material for fruits and vegetables in Europe, okay? Because us in Lebanon, we are like you, Ghana, the European come to our country to tell us, stop using plastic, use other products. So I did these studies, and I went in the UK to Tesco. You know, Tesco is the major supermarket. And I have pictures, and I can send them to you, okay? All of the grapes and all of the cherries are packed in flexible packaging. Flexible packaging is plastic. So this is not true. They are using plastic anyway, but let's see. The client is the king. We always do this in marketing. So whatever your client is asking you, I don't know the name of the person, so you have to follow the request of the client. But most important, as I said, the marketing and the trend is very important, but we have to study. Let me tell you something. If you put grapes in or cherry in cartons, I love cartons. I don't want to be an advocate for plastic, no, but I'm an advocate for the shelf life. if I want to export to Ghana my cherries or my grapes or my tomatoes only in a carton crate, they will be perished, and then I will losing money, and this is waste to the environment as well. Why people don't look to perishable food as waste to the environment, right? So first of all, I really need to study the shelf life of my product. Regarding glass, if I may ask, what was the product that he wanted to ship?
I think we would get into the details of that, but I guess it's they didn't state the products here, but we'll find out the products as we go ahead. Please, if you hear us, what products, so that Soha can address the issues. So whilst we wait for that further input, there's another question, Soha, that's saying that can you use metal as primary packaging for oils, lotions, and creams?
Yes. Now metal is becoming the trend for oil, also for olive oils. I wish I had more time. I had a lot of examples, and even for cream, metal is becoming a trend now. You know, and the aerosol, you know, the pump. So yes, for sure, definitely. Now, for example, the major brand Occitan. It's a very famous brand for
Occitan,
oil.
yeah.
I love it. They are putting the new almond oil in a metal aerosol. Even the cream butter, they are putting it like the Nivea. Remember the Nivea, the old Nivea?
Yeah.
They are going back to metal because metal is also easy to recycle, and because of the marketing, you can print it, it's shiny, it's nice. People are loving the metal again, and you can use it for cosmetics.
Okay, so there's another question that says that if you use the PET bottle for storage, the PET bottles, the PET bottles, and then you can have shelf life for 1 week. Is it possible to use a PET bottle which is heat resistant so that you can pasteurize your milk and extend shelf life?
How long? If you want, no, usually PET is for medium shelf life. Usually PET bottle is only for 1 to 2 weeks. If you want to have for the pasteurized milk, is for the Tetra Pak, not for the PET. Because as I have shown in my slides, the Tetra Pak has a lot of material. The metal aspect mainly in the Tetra Pak is the one that is extending the shelf life. With the PET, there's no metal. It's only plastic.
So there was a follow-up question, but I think your answer takes care of that already. So you say for a small cosmetic business, what would you recommend? Sticking to plastics, and which type of plastics will better preserve oil, water-based products?
I like this example. I will take this example. I cannot respond to it because they have to do their homework. I cannot design, you know, in Le Bon Park, besides what you have said, we design packages in Le Bon Park. We design packages from a structural point of view, the shape of the bottle, and the visual aspect, the color, the typography, and all of this. When we talk about the structural aspect, and as I said, there's no such good or bad packaging material. I need a brief. First of all, I need a brief about the product, the properties of the product, the cost, the budget that he is willing to put. And second, I need a brief about marketing. And here really, everyone that is listening to me, really do your homework before going to any designer or any branding agency. You cannot serve anyone. Like for example, now you are a 40 person, each one has preferences. If you are targeting families, if you are targeting singles, if you are targeting women, man, now cosmetic is also for men. So we really need to do our homework and to define the market segment. And then I will be able, whenever he has done his homework and come to me with all this information, then I will be able to advise, not before.
Okay, so then maybe we take the last one, we move to the next session. Bioplastics,
Yes.
In terms of costs compared to conventional plastics, what advice do you give, and what do you have any figures to tell us?
Unfortunately, it's more expensive by 30%, unfortunately. And
30% of the Okay.
And now many multinational companies are moving to the bioplastic, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They are introducing, they call it.
Hello, Soha.
The plant time, like everything, it will be cheaper. But now it's still more expensive.
We lost you a bit when you were talking. If you can just go over for us, please.
I'm saying until now it's more expensive, but I'm speculating that with time it will be less expensive.
Okay. All right. So on that note, we would say thank you very much for this session. We would move now to the fundamentals, the second phase. But before we go into the second phase, we will launch another poll. Briefly, please, the poll is coming up. Let's answer the poll, and then we would move into the second part of our presentation. Yes, so this is packaging as a marketing tool. This is also two questions straight to the point. Before deciding on packaging, have you identified your market segment? I mean, yes, Soha has already said you need a market segment to help you decide, so yes or no. And then who designs your packaging material? So is it yourself? Is it one of your staff, a local designer? I use available softwares. I request international support, others. 30 seconds, can we get this done? And then it would inform her to also lead the next session for us. Okay, so I think we can be launching the pool, the results of the pool soon for us to see. It's coming up, then we can move to our next session. Wow, interesting.
On your packaging, have you? Bravo, well done, 82%.
82%, yeah.
If it's possible, I would have loved somebody to share with me the market segment. Is it possible that they will tell you so we can give it as an example or a case study? Because really, I'm impressed, 82%. Because okay, even in Lebanon, they don't identify, and they come to me telling me, design this package. Who is your market segment? Everyone. I want to sell everyone. So.
Okay, so maybe as we've heard, somebody can type in the Q&A session. Let's just know some of your market segments. That would also help Soha as she helps us with the discussion. And then who designs your packaging? We see 23%, 5 people saying they do it themselves, but 64% they use local designers and consultants. So I think this is very clear. So Soha, the floor is yours for the second part.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can share it, right?
Yes, we can see.
Great.
Super.
So, by the way, this is my passion, marketing and the marketing aspect of packaging. I wish one day you can come to Liban Park and to see the collection of the limited edition packaging and the collection where design is integrated into packaging. So now, after discussing the functional role of packaging, the containment, the preservation, the protection, which are more important than marketing. Although I like marketing, but let's face it, guys, even if your package is wow and is making your product standing out, if it's not protecting your product, then it's bullshit, okay? So first of all, you need to focus on protection and preservation. Once this is done, we go to marketing. Okay, so this presentation, we will focus on how we can use packaging in marketing. As I said, although packaging is important for protection, but also if it's very well designed to protect your product and is really an ugly package, then it's also used. So it's really a balance between the two. So packaging has to sell your product. When we go to the supermarket, now we are going with a mask. I need to update this. What happened? Hello, I cannot hear. Now Abby is using something. No, Abby stopped. I managed to share it from here. Abby, Charles, can you talk to her?
Yeah, it's done. It's back to your screen, yes.
Okay, so yes. So when we go to the supermarket, and no, she is sharing now. I prefer to share. Abby.
Okay, so she said she would stop. Okay, so now you can share to her.
Please, okay. Okay.
All right.
So when we go to the supermarket, and the supermarket is filled with millions of products, there's a study that have been made that you have 2.6 seconds to pick the product, okay? And here we are talking of a new product, not a product that you are loyal to. And who is deciding in this second that you are choosing the product? The packaging design. So the packaging design affects your decision to buy this product or the other product.
Hello, Soha.
And who will tell you? Your hint, your gut feeling will tell you, I want to go this one or this one based on the package, based on the design, on the color. So we call this, your packaging is your ambassador. And I have a slogan in Lebanon. We say, your packaging is your silent salesman. You know, sometimes when you are launching a product, especially the cosmetics people, you hire a hostess or somebody to stay in the supermarket to tell you, try this, it's for free, blah, blah, blah. So, but not most of the time you can use this. So your packaging is actually your salesman. Your packaging is your communication between you and your consumer. Let's talk about psychology a little bit, okay? So you all know that we have two sides of our brain. The brain that is responsible for the logic, the analytic, and all of this. And the other side of the brain that is responsible for emotion, for passion, for art, music, and all of this. And packaging, when we look at packaging, it affects the emotional part of us, not the logical part. Many times, especially ladies, we have ladies with us in the, I hope, in the...
Yeah, there are a number of ladies with us.
Yeah. When we buy a brand, okay, and we know deep inside that this brand is more expensive than the other brand, like when we are comparing, I don't know, Chanel and Zara, or I don't know, we know, and it's the same product, it's a shirt at the end of the day, or it's a bag, but we are pleasing ourselves with the emotional part. So it's not rational to buy it, but we want to please ourselves. So the same with packaging. When you look at the product, the colors, the design evoke emotions and feeling. And here comes the decision of buying this one or not. Okay, so I just want to tell you this. So when we want to go and you want to design your packaging from a marketing point of view, not we have done with the materials and the shelf life and all of this. Now we are focusing on marketing. First of all, it needs to be eye-catching. You need to have this checklist. And I really advise you guys, whenever you go to any designer or branding agency, ask your friends, do focus group, put many options, and look from behind to see, from away, to see which one is really eye-catching, okay? Like, for example, I always give this example. When you meet someone, okay, the first thing that you see about this person is what? Is the physical appearance before he starts talking. So packaging is the same. You have to give an impression. And then when this person starts to talk, you say, okay, he's a nice guy or a bad guy. The same for packaging. Packaging is that you look at the product and it gives a perception in your mind. Then when you eat it, if it's bad, you won't buy it again. But the first impression is really very important in everything in life. So it has to give a good first impression. Then it should brand recognition. Here later on, inshallah, when you have really a brand, because there's a difference between a logo and a brand. Coca-Cola is a brand. Perrier is a brand. So your packaging should give a brand recognition. Like me, for example, when I want to go to the supermarket, I want to buy the cereals for my kids. So directly the brand recognition, the same color, the same image. So it should give recognition and product identity. Then communication. Your package should really, as if it's talk to you, the information should be clear, not very small, not very big. So it's a kind of communication between you and your consumer. And also it should be eye-catching, but it also should be differentiation. I always am a bold person. I always advise people, especially when they are launching a new product, to be different. First of all, go to the supermarket. If you want to launch a shampoo, for example, or a cream, you go, you see everyone is white, everybody is green. Choose a color that stands out. So I come and see, what is this? Let me try it. Okay, so this is very important, a checklist when you see. This is an example of brand identity. Even if I cover the name of Coca-Cola, whenever you see just the shape, you will recognize that it's Coca-Cola, the contouring of the glass. So here, packaging is becoming a brand recognition. Same for Perrier. The green glass color is a recognition with the Perrier. So as I said, here there are juices, huh? And I'm sure you have private labeling in Ghana, right, Charles? You know, private labeling is when you have the same product packed in different way, like the ketchup, the mayonnaise. So sometimes really they are the same product, but packed differently for different suppliers. Yes. So here, when you look, they are all juices. For me, for example, is the one on the right, the POM, because of how it's different, the structure, the color. So your product really needs to stand out, especially when you are a newcomers. When you have loyalty, when people like your brand, they are used to your brand, okay. But when you are a newcomers, first of all, you really need to stand out. Packaging is marketing. And really, as I said, before doing your marketing homework, don't dig into packaging. Your marketing homework is that you need to have a strategy. You really need to know about marketing, the 4 P's of marketing: the product, the price, the place, and the promotion. I cannot design your package before knowing where you want to sell your product. You want to sell it in a high-end store, or you want to sell it at the gas station. The package will be different. I cannot design your package before knowing the price. Okay, so Abby is telling me something. Okay, I don't know. She's telling me this is an old version, really? Sorry. Okay, just 1 second, because she changed the. Just 1 second, sorry for this. Okay. I'm sorry for this, Charles.
No, it's or should she share?
No, she's sharing, or I was trying to share. Okay.
Okay, just so we save time, as Ibe will share the updated ones that we did on. Yes.
I'm sorry. By mistake, I used mine. So where we were, in which, can we go to the previous slide? Before, still. Before also, yes, okay, go to this one. So as we said, your package should stand out and it should be different with innovative packaging design. So we go then, she removed the introduction to marketing. Although frankly, marketing is very important. Let me just, even without a slide. So you need to know the 4 Ps. I really need to know about your product, the price. I cannot design a packaging without knowing the price of the product, okay? And the place and how you will promote it. You will using only Instagram, social media, or you will sell it in a specific stores. So I need a full brief. And then we go to the slides. What do you want to communicate? So designing is not only the responsibility of the designers, both of us. And with this, I'm coaching you guys because really many people, they don't know this. When I asked them this, they said, I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to communicate. So it will be a learning discussion and brainstorming. So for example, if you are doing cheese, I don't know, you do cheese in Ghana or no?
No, we don't do cheese. So we can stick to any cosmetic products. Or
okay. If you are doing a cream, okay?
A cream.
If you are doing a cream, what is the message that you want to give from this cream? When I look at your cream, I want to think that this cream is homemade from soap, or I want to look at it as really a very high-end premium product, or I want to look at it as a very rare product. And let me tell you here something, guys, because also the slide was not put, because although I think it's very important, the positioning. Most importantly, before really doing design for your pack, you need to position yourself. Mass, medium, or high-end. And I will tell you something, it's okay to be mass. The most important people who are making money these days are the mass, not the high-end. Let's give the example, stick to cream, Nivea and Clarins. You know both of them, right?
Yes.
Nivea is mass and Clarins is high-end. Who is the one who is selling more and making more money?
Nivea.
Nivea. Because I have this problem. All the people who are coming to my office, we want to be high-end. We want to be premium. We want to be, no. It's okay to give the image that you are affordable product. It's okay to give the image about that you are medium, not really high end, because people in their mind, they have this perception. So, and the design should reflect this. Many times you look to a perfume, you say, no, 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 this is very expensive. I don't want to buy it. Because as we say, the design of the package give the perception. And in cosmetics, it's very important. And people mix up between high end and between safety. There's nothing to do between both. All the cars, even the Bentley and the Volvo, both of them need to be safe. The same for the cream. The Nivea is safe and the Clarins is safe. But here we're talking about high end. So also I need to know about your market destination. Where are you gonna sell your cream? In Ghana, in Lebanon, in Europe, in Egypt? Each country has their own practices and values and traditions that we need to incorporate in the package. Even when you are selling to the States, like us in Lebanon, when we want to export our traditional Lebanese food, you know about our food. We are famous for Lebanese food. So even when we want to export to the States or Canada, we are targeting the Lebanese and the Arab who live there. This is different if I'm targeting the Americans who lives in the States. So really, this is very important, the market segment and the market destination. As I said, the point of sale, where you're gonna sell your cream or your fresh produce. If you are talking about fresh produce, are you going to sell in the market? We call it the souk, like the bulk market, marché, or you're gonna sell it in a really, I don't know, Spinneys or Carrefour, or you're gonna sell it in a signature places. This is very important. The point of sale will affect the design of the package. Market segmentation is an art by itself, okay? And nowadays, especially with changing in habits and lifestyle, nobody can tell me, there's a very few product that we can say that we are really approaching everybody. Okay, maybe water, but now we will see an example, even Evian, for example, they have different segments for different people. Even Coca-Cola now, they have the Diet Coke, Coca Light, and Coca Zero. Do you know the difference between Coca Light and Coca Zero? Do you know, Charles? Why Coca-Cola? What?
For various people, like maybe you don't want sugar, less sugar.
But most of them, they are without sugar. Let me tell you, Coca Light, when they did Coca Light, it gives a feminine orientation, Coca Light, and the look. So the men were shy in the coffee shop to order Coca Light. So they created the Coca what? Zero. Okay. The Coca Zero with the black look. Yeah. Although the same, both of them are the same. Both of them are without sugar. So I'm giving you an example. Even Coca-Cola, the #1 brand in the world, they are using segmentation. It's very important. In the society, you have many segments. Even when you are talking about women, you have the conservative woman, you have the liberal woman, you have the senior woman, you have the pregnant woman, you have the girls. So you really, especially in cosmetics, you really need to identify your market segment and study the preferences of your market segment. Yes, Abby. In segmentation, these are the most important variables. I really need to know the age, the gender, and gender is very important. Until now, I'm for gender equality, but when it comes to preference and taste, they come from Venus and we come from Mars. Okay, we have different preferences. Whether we are talking to singles or married couples, the income, the occupation, the education, no, if you can go. Nationality is very important. Whether we are talking, as I said, the ethnicity, we have a lot of ethnic food as a developing country. And when I want to ship my Lebanese food or Arab or Mediterranean food, I'm targeting the ethnic people who live in these countries. And also inside the country, there's a difference between the rural and the city. So this slide is really very important. Do your homework. If I was with you guys, I would have put this group exercise. Every one of you can put really the exact market segment, especially that you answered that 80% of you guys, you do the exercise. So let me know what is every aspect of this. Once we develop the market segment, for example, I'm saying that I'm targeting the teenagers from 14 to 18, okay? I really need to study their needs. I really need to do a market research. It's not like this, you develop a package or you even develop a product. I really need to understand their needs. What do they like? What flavor they like? They like the cream to be really light. They like it to be very rich and all of this. And once I know their needs, I will adapt my product so that they can demand my product. So the needs need to be translated into demand. So they can come and demand my product because why? Because my product reflects and satisfies their needs. And by the way, this is the definition of marketing. So here we come to the packaging design element. First of all, I need to know the positioning of your brand. When I say positioning, is where your product stand, where your brand stands vis-a-vis your competitors. When you design your package is here, you have your consumers here, and your competitor is here. Don't forget your competitors. You have to keep an eye of what your competitors are doing and to follow your competitors or let them follow you. And first of all, when it comes to packaging, we start with the structural aspect. The structural is the shape of the bottle, the use of the aerosol. So here I'm talking about the structure, the glass, the PET bottle, the pouch, the shape. Once I'm done with the shape, we go to the design, the color, the typography, whether if I want to use images, real images, or sketching, or illustration, fashion, okay? But first of all, we start with the structure. When we are done with the structure, and for sure the structure, we take into account the ergonomic shape, how you grip, how you handle the product, how you open it, how you close it, all of this, and always keep in mind the consumer convenience. Here is an example, okay, of jam. In each package, you give a different perception. If I'm looking at the first one, it gives me a perception that it's a homemade feeling. If I'm looking to the one on the bottom, it gave me an industrial look, okay? It's more industrial. Here, for example, the small one, mainly they are sold where? In hotels or in airlines, okay? That's why I'm telling you, place is really very important. The blue one is for bulk, for B2B, okay? And here it was also, the slides were missed. We really need to differentiate between consumer packaging and industrial packaging. So here is an example about men and women for the segmentation. We cannot really, especially for cosmetics, guys, completely designs, okay, for colors, for typography. Men and women, they are attracted to different aspects of design. An example between men and women, Clarence, okay? And I will tell you something, maybe it's the same cream, huh? Maybe they are, maybe it's an issue of marketing, huh? Trust me, maybe it's the same one. But this one is affecting women, is attracting women, and the other is attracting men. The blue color, even sometimes the ergonomic shape is different. So we cannot use the same colors to attract men and women. Another aspect, here it's really the same. It's ketchup, it's Amora, okay, the same brand. But the first one is affecting, is targeting the mom, the family, the one who is buying the product. And the second one is targeting the kids, because most of the time, the kids will pick, sometimes will be with his mom, no, I want this one because of the catchy colors, the catchy ergonomic shape. Here it's the same product, but packed differently to attract different segments. Here also, maybe it's the same product or not. We have it a lot in our supermarket. Whenever you have Carrefour, Monoprix, they have their own brand. Usually it's cheaper than the other brands. So here, the different packaging are reflecting different price. Okay? So the design is reflecting different prices. Same for sesame seeds. See, when I tell you everything that is done in glass and it's a simple plastic bags, for sure the price is higher for the glass. But here we want to give a premium look, a high-end look. So I cannot choose the material before having a brief from you guys. Colors. Remember the slide for the brain, the emotional and the rational?
Sure.
Here, colors. Every colors evoke emotions. And really, here we have to be very careful, because some colors, for example, in Lebanon are different than in China. In China, for example, some colors, they don't like it. Same for the States, same in Russia. So colors, the choice of colors is very important to evoke different emotions. As I said, here is an example of the Coca-Cola that I gave. Coca-Cola, first of all, they used to have the simple red Coca-Cola, but with time, segmentation, they need to respond to the needs of every market segment. See the difference between Coca Light and why we had the Coca Zero. Okay. Typography. You know what's the meaning of typography? It's a science of text. You know, when you want to write a text to someone, you use Calibri or Arial and all of this. And especially now with texting. If you want to shout on someone, Charles, when you are using WhatsApp, what do you use? Tell me.
Holding it.
What?
Oh, you use emoji?
Yes, and you use capital letter. Me, if I want to shout, capital letter. So this is what I wanted to say, that the font, whether bold, whether capital, whether small, whether all of this, it gives the different messages. So typography by itself, and especially it's a trend now to use only typography, also for creams, okay? So use carefully the font because it gives different messages and different connotation. And my advice, be bold. Now people want bold things. This is an example for Evian. Okay, Evian, 4 different examples. The same water, guys. It's the same water filled in 4 bottles. The first one, it's a glass, premium look bottle that is sold. That is sold in restaurants, in high-end hotels, in fancy restaurants. The second one is the regular one, the PET bottle. The third one is the sporty look one, the ergonomic shape, how you grab it. And it's mentioned even on the label that is for sport. And the latest one is for kids. See, this is an example how one product, same shelf life. It's not like the milk. The other milk was different shelf life. Here it's the same product. They use different packaging materials, different typography, different colors, different fonts to attract different market segments. Do we have time to go with the trends?
Yeah, we have a few. Yes, we can go with the trends and then we can be wrapping up.
Okay, many people ask me about the latest trends in packaging. And I will tell you something, the trends are contradicting each other actually. The first trend is sustainability. No, please, can we stay? The first trend is sustainability. Everyone is now green and about the environment, the ozone and all of this. So they care for the environment. The second trend that is conflicting the first one is the on the go, the snacking. When I say snacking, is that eating nuts, chocolate, water, anything on the go in small sizes. And this means more packaging material. Huh? So this is contradicting the first one, which is sustainability. Because sustainability means that I want to have the 2-liter Pepsi Cola with me. But no, I want to be able to use it on the go. So I will buy the mini. You're getting my point. But the on the go is really a big trend because our lifestyle is changing. We are eating on the go. We are eating while working, while feeding our kids, while really. So this is the main trend. The third trend is the convenience. Most important, people want to be relaxed, want to be convenient while using, while opening. So now many companies are changing their packaging to become easy to close, easy to open, and all of this. E-commerce, many companies are selling online, so your packaging should be well designed to be also visible online. Digital packaging, as you have seen, you put this QR code and it will give you direct link to other information. Healthy lifestyle. People always want to look at the product and to think that they are healthy. So, and this is here, the marketing people, we use colors, we use design to make the product looks healthy. And the fashion. Fashion is very important because we want everything to be nice and colorful. Even the bottle of water that I'm carrying, I want it to be nice. I'm not buying an iPhone only because it's good. I'm buying it because the shape of the iPhone is nice. Okay, so also for the packaging, design and fashion are very important when it comes to buying product. Abby? So this is an example of the on-the-go lifestyle. So your packaging should fit the new lifestyle. This is really an example of the cheese. You know, in Lebanon, we have the cheese, we cut it like this, we do sandwiches. Now we don't have time. So the cheese is sold in a single stick. The same for meat. Also for me, really, the meat, I found it like a dog food sometimes, but it's there. Let's face it. The egg, we don't have time now to boil the egg at home. So this is a package where you shake the egg and then it's boiled because we don't have time. This is the trend. You see it everywhere. It's awful. The packaging is everywhere. That's why sustainability is #1 trend, and many companies are redesigning their packaging to meet the sustainability trend and to make a different packaging material to reduce the packaging. See here, for example, Nestle, they were using 14 grams of plastic. They changed it to use 9.2 grams. So the three main aspects is reduce, reuse, and recycle for your packaging materials. And the sustainability, sometimes it's used for marketing. So as you have seen here in the chips, the first thing you have seen it even before the brand, usually you start with the brand, is that it's 100% compostable package. Let's face it, our clients want this, so we have to respond for it, because if you don't follow the trend of your consumer, you will be out of business. E-commerce, Amazon, and many other companies are selling online. So our packaging also should fit this trend. As much as you can, use the connected packaging to scan your more information, especially when it comes to food or cosmetics. People like to know more on the direction of use and all of this, and sometimes you have a limited space on your package. So put this link and link them to the website to give them more information. Convenience is #1. People want their comfort. If I buy a bottle of water or juice or I'm unable to open it, I won't buy it anymore. Okay? So convenience is very important. How I handle it, how I put it in the fridge, how it stands on the floor, on the table. So convenience is really very important. It should be easy to carry and easy to use. Here is a different example of convenience. This product, the duck, it has won the World Star. In WPO, we organized the international competition for packaging. And because of this shape, it was #1 in convenience, because here they mix the design with the shape of the bottle to make it easier to use. And this is also another example. With the convenience, many companies are shifting their product to reclose. Okay, many biscuits, many chocolates, are chips even. They are adding this technology of zipper to make it easier for their consumer to be consumed at a later stage. The healthy lifestyle. Here, where you use design to show that your product is healthy. Like this one, the Rex bar, is sold in Starbucks. Simple, direct to the point, only typography to say that these are the list of ingredients. So in this design, I'm showing and I'm proving that my product is healthy. The same for innocent, okay, from the name, from the design, that they are innocent from preservative, that they are fresh, that they are natural. But you have to tell me this message, okay? So you need to know about the message. Now this is about the design, the fun part of packaging. Now many companies are doing a lot of limited editions, and I collect them. So Nutella, Coca-Cola, many alcohol, they do this limited editions. Your packaging also need to be integrated in our life. So even Kit Kat, that is famous for its red color, for once in a year, they move to the purple color to show solidarity with the breast cancer campaign. So it's nice also from time to time for special occasion to change the color of your product to show responsibility. Here is an example also of how Coca-Cola, they changed their bottle for the World Cup event. This is a conclusion. Please always understand your consumer needs, follow the global trends, do your exercise, know your product, the price, the place, the segmentation. You do the matrix for positioning of your brand vis-a-vis your competitor, and then go to a packaging designer, branding agency, or come to us to design your packaging so it will make a shelf appeal and an impact on the shelf. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Soha. It's been wonderful. It's been interesting listening to you, taking us through such thorough presentations. There are a few more questions we would want to take. Maybe you grab a glass of water to drink. I don't know in which packaging material the water is in now. This is a normal glass, yes. So thank you very much. Somebody wants to know that is there a specific, what bottle would you recommend for oils? Either like olive oil or vegetable oil. Is there a particular bottle that you would want to recommend for him or her?
Depending on the price and the market segment. Again, for the olive oil in Lebanon, for example, they are used to sell it only in glass bottles. They are not used at all to accept PET bottle. They think that it's cheap to put olive oil or vegetable oil in PET bottle, okay? But in Europe, for example, when I go, because me, whenever I go, first thing, I go to the supermarket to understand the culture and the lifestyle. In Europe, I have seen a lot of olive oil in PET bottle. And now the trend in Italy to put the olive oil in cans, in metal cans like the old days. So depending on the culture, depending where you are going to sell it, from food safety wise, you can use glass, PET, and aluminum. But from a marketing perspective, we really need to understand the market segment. All what I said now, the price. If it's an expensive olive oil, rare, extra virgin, blah, 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 no, for sure you have to go for glass, okay? If it's a mass, not very expensive, then you go for PET. So it's really depending on your marketing mix.
All right, that is very important. Thank you very much. There's another one who says that we talked about being a newcomer, a new entrant, and trying to distinguish your products with packaging materials. So the question is that, how expensive would it be for a new person to have such features in terms of entering the market and bringing a product that distinguishes you from the already existing competitors?
How expensive, you mean?
Yes, how will it be? Yes, in terms of cost, from your experience, if you are advising somebody, would it be expensive? How would you tell such a person?
What is the product?
Well, I think it's a very general one. They didn't put a product, but perhaps you can help us. I think most of our people are either doing fruits, cosmetics.
Usually it should be between 10 to 25% of the cost of the product.
Okay. So that's like a rule of the thumb.
This is really a general question, because sometimes, let me tell you something. Sometimes for cosmetics, for perfumes, okay? For perfumes, it's 150%, huh? Because here when you buy a glass of perfume, the glass is more expensive than the product itself. The same for beer. Huh? The beer, the cost of the glass is more expensive than the beer. So really, I cannot answer this kind of question because, as I said, your product, the P in the marketing, the first P is depending on the product and then depending on your market segment. If you want to give a premium look, then it's expensive. If you want to be a mass, an affordable package, then no, it's not expensive. So I cannot really answer this kind of question.
That's very true. But somebody's saying, can you give us a guideline or even a way so that they'll be able to conduct some market research trends so that they will know how to now segment their products according to the 4 Ps or what you've said?
To give them a guideline?
Yes. Can you suggest a way that they can conduct market research to help them develop their product?
I'm really willing. You know, this is what I do coaching. Like, for example, before the corona, I was going on a weekly basis to Oman and meeting new entrepreneurs there to guide them in this, to do a market research, because really the first step in marketing is market research. First of all, you need to research about your product, to know more about your product. First, this is the first element. And then to define your market segment based on the variable. But yes, it's not an easy task, I might say. And so that's why we give coaching, and I'm ready to support you in coaching. But really, they need to know more about their customers. Really, I advise anyone not to go into a new business before doing a good market research. Market research is focus group, is asking your clients, potential client, is going do mystery shopper, going to your competitor, see what your competitor are doing, study the environment. It's not an easy thing because this is very important whether you will succeed or not in your business. Market research is very important.
Okay, maybe the last one. Somebody wants to know that, is there a general rule for choosing between an opaque bottle or a transparent bottle in terms of products?
A general rule is the product itself. Let me give him an example. Water and olive oil. Water, it's okay to be transparent. Olive oil, no, it should be dark. Why? Because to prevent oxidation, because the light and the sunlight gives oxidation, and then the product will lose its organoleptic and its vitamins and all of this. So depending on the product, some product like the water, like the juice, are okay to be transparent, but some of the product, they will be ruined with sunlight. So no, there's no general guideline. The general guideline is the product itself.
All right. There are other questions, but I think because of tomorrow's webinar, those questions will perfectly be taken care of by our panelists for tomorrow. So thank you so much for being with us. You've taken me to Lebanon. It's been an experience having this interaction with you, but please stay with us before we wrap up. So for our participants, it's been very interesting having you with us. This is WACOM, the West Africa Competitiveness Program, Ghana component. I am the Chief Technical Advisor. I'm here with my team, and this has been Soha Atala from Lebanon sharing her experience in packaging with us. Tomorrow, we have a webinar on branding and marketing. And tomorrow we have another international UNIDO expert with over a decade experience in international exposure, also taking us through the issue of branding and market. Then we also have an expert from Food and Drugs Authority. That's why there are other questions that's talking about what FDA requires and what. So tomorrow we'll have FDA telling us what we need to put on our products. Are these products, what are the labeling requirements? All your challenges, all your issues, tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Please join us and you have such interesting time. All your questions will be answered. A few others were asking, how do you assess this one? The recording will be placed on our YouTube channel, WACOM YouTube channel. It would also be on the WACOM website. You can always come back to our website and you would find the content of this webinar. And next week, on the 4th of June, we have another webinar, another interesting one. We're talking about market access, efficiently accessing new markets. And so we want to access new markets, and it's about export readiness. We would have an expert from GEPA, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and then another international expert taking us through the requirements for accessing international markets. So please be our guest again. On this note, we want to thank all of you, and we're telling you, please follow us on our social media handles. On LinkedIn, we are very active, LinkedIn Wacom Ghana. On Facebook, we are there, still Wacom Ghana. On Instagram, you would find us, and our website is also available. I think those who registered before this webinar, you all went through the registration link on the website. Visit our website, follow us, like our page, comment, and tell us what you need. It's been great coming your way again. I want to thank my colleague, Ebe Buskali, who is in Vienna, who supported us in this process. We also want to thank our experts, Na Ache for cosmetics, Joe for cassava, Frank for mango and pineapple, Fred Jamina for issues on all conformity issues, and Kwame, who is our marketing and then finance person. On this note, we want to thank all of you so much. Maybe I give the last word to Soha if you have a few things to tell our Ghanaian friends, because you'll definitely be coming back for one of our coaching sessions. And hopefully when Corona subsides, we'll give you a warm invitation to Ghana.
Yes, I wish I could see you guys, but I'm happy Charles was still with me to see you. So it was really a pleasure, and I hope I can see you soon to interact with you live and to give you more from my experience.
Definitely.
And I would love to coach you on designing your product. I hope you learned from this 2 sessions how to create your brief, so any designer can help you to design your package. Charles and Abby, thank you so much for this opportunity. And if I may ask, if you do some kind of evaluation for the training, so I can see the feedback or the assessment of the attendees. Do you do an evaluation for the training?
Yes, we send the link for afterwards. We send a link to the participants for the evaluation.
Okay, great. So if you can share it with me, I'm looking forward to see the recording. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Bye. So for all our participants, from SOA, from myself and from the team, we say very goodbye. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy your life.
Stay safe. Now, stay safe.
Stay safe. Now the message is stay safe. Observe all the protocols for Ghana Health Service. Wear your masks and then stay safe. Don't go moving unnecessarily. And tomorrow, same time, 11 o'clock, please join us for branding and marketing. Come and listen to the expert from FDA tell us what to do. Come and listen to the international brand expert telling us how to have good brands to market our products. With all that we've heard today, I believe in the coming weeks, we'll be very active and our products will be everywhere. On that note, Soha, thank you so much, and everybody stay safe. Bye.